Alright, so you should be doing the bell work box. Alright, I'm going to give you about 1 more minute and then we're going to go over these 5. If you are finished and you have not turned in your phone yet, please get up and turn in your phone. Alright, it looks like the majority of us are done with those, so let's look at it. So for number 1, they all have the same variable with no exponents. And so this is going to be 1a plus 6a plus 8a, which becomes 15a. Alright, we have 3 b's. We have 1b, 2b, minus 5b. So 1b plus 2 is 3, minus 5 is a negative 2b. And I still have my minus 17 by itself. You're going to get graded work back today. Some of you, 2 of you in particular, kept forgetting every now and then to put the variables. Is a negative 2 the same as a negative 2b? No. You have to make sure to include variables with it. All right, let's look at this one. I have a negative 2c minus 7c, which is a negative 9c. Then I have positive 8 minus 1, which is a positive 7. Number 4, I have 7a squared. And I have a minus a squared. Remember, bring your sign with it. So 7 minus that 1 is 6a squared. Then I have a minus b, That's negative 1b minus a negative 1b, which is negative 2b. And then a negative c and a positive c cancels each other. And I could put 0c if I want to. It's kind of one of those things that kind of just looks funny. It's not wrong. It just looks funny. So you can put the 0c if it makes you feel better. You won't lose points for it. But know that on a test, star test, anywhere else, you're going to see that it doesn't have the 0. Alright, so let's look at number 5. Number 5 is a little tricky just because we have so many variables, but here I have xy and I have plus a 7xy. Alright, 4 plus a 7xy is 11xy. I have a minus xz, and this one's a yz, so are they the same? Nope. So I just get to keep that minus 4xz, and I'm going to keep that minus 11yz. Some of you I wrote notes on because your numbers and your letters start looking alike. Be sure you can tell the difference between a Z and a 2. Sometimes it helps to put the little slash through the Z's just so you can tell. Those of you that I had trouble reading whether it was a 2 or a Z, I wrote a note on your paper. Alright? Any questions on the top 5? Alright, so we're going to look at continuing to solve. We're going to look at the notes today, and then we're going to talk about a couple of questions that y'all missed on y'all's homeworks that y'all missed that were kind of common ones. So we're going to start by combining first. So I have 5x plus 2x, which is a 7x. Can I combine my minus 3 and my negative 31? Why not? Because there's an equal sign between them. I can only combine things that are on the same side. So we keep that minus 3 equals negative 31. From here, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. These cancel, leaving me with 7x. Negative 31 plus 3 is negative 28. Divide both sides by 7. 28 divided by 7 is 4. It is a negative, though, because negative divided by positive. So we have a negative 4. Now, looking at some of y'all's homeworks, y'all did a really good job. Some of you did a really good job at plugging that in and checking it. It's a really great skill. It helps make sure you got the answers correct. All right, why don't you try number 2 with your partner? All right, let's go ahead and look at it. So my W doesn't have anything by itself, so, that can combine with this. I'm just going to keep it. If you did your numbers first, that's fine. I honestly am in a habit of doing my variables first because like we talked about in, I don't remember if it's lesson 1 or 2, that we do variables first and then we do numbers. I just have the habit of having it in that order already. So if you put in different order, that's perfectly okay. So we have negative 7, positive 22, which is a positive 15. Negative 45 stays on that side. Subtract 15 from both sides. Negative 60. Divide both sides by 6. And we get negative 10. Yes? No? Alright. Number 3, I want you to try to do with your partner. Let's do optional partner, meaning you try by yourself, but if you have questions, you ask your partner. Because it does have fractions, and we hate fractions. And this is not one that you want to change to a decimal because it's a repeating decimal. Alright, are we ready? Oh, okay. Alright, let's go ahead and look at it. Alright, so I have 2/7 C plus 8/7. They have a common denominator, so I can keep the 7. 2 plus 8 is 10, so it becomes 10/7 minus 17 equals 23. I add 17 to both sides. Leaves me with 10/7 C, and this leaves me with 40. Talks about when my coefficient is a fraction, I can just do the reciprocal, which is 7/10. All I'm doing is flipping it. What this is actually doing is it creates 70 over 70, which equals 1, which means this is just a 1C, which is my goal the whole time, just to get C by itself. 40 times 7 is 280. 280 divided by 10 is 28. You could have just put it in a calculator if you don't remember how to do fractions calculator. It is Control divide will give it to you, or you can put it in parentheses and just do 7 divided by 10 inside the parentheses. We get 28. Alright, we're going to do number 4 together. Just looking at 4, what could be a hurdle in number 4? There are fractions and decimals. We need to work with them all in one. Now, if the fraction can become a pretty decimal, then we're going to change it to a decimal. But if not, we have to change them all to fractions. Can 3/2 become a pretty decimal?
Yes.
Yes, it can. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this problem, but I'm going to write it with that fraction as what I call a pretty decimal. I mean a non-repeating decimal. And it'll become 1.5f. Still a messy problem. Still has lots of pieces to it. So I'm going to drop my line. I'm going to go through and circle all my f's. I'm a visual person, and I need to visually see all of my f's grouped together. That's just how I work. That's how I function. You may be different, and that's perfectly okay. So I'm going to do 5 minus 2.4, which is 2.6. 2.6 plus 1.5 is 4.1. I believe it is. Okay. Did not get to use my negative 3/10, which I dropped the 0 in front. If you are one of those who doesn't want to drop it, it doesn't matter. Alright. 4.1 is with my f's. I'm going to divide both sides by 4.1. Easy thing to do in our calculator. Negative 0.3 divided by... Oh, wait, I messed up. No, I messed up. I caught it. I forgot the 12. Got to bring my 12 down. Alright, so now I need to subtract 12. Sorry, guys. This cancels, leaving me with still my 4.1f on this side. But now I have negative 12.3 on this side. Now I'm just going to divide both sides by 4.1. Some of you that are good at mental math might already see that that's a nice, even though it's got decimals in it, it's a nice, pretty division problem actually, because it goes in really nicely. It's just negative 3. Those of you that are good at mental math, or those of you saying, well, how could you have seen that? Well, I saw 3 divided by 3 gives me 1, and 12 divided by 3 gives me the 4, and that's where we get the negative 3 from. Questions on 4? Alright. Flip to the back. Write an equation for each and solve. Perimeter. I had quite a few of you when this showed up on homework. We forgot what perimeter is. Guys, perimeter is an old school word for you by now. You've been doing perimeter since, I don't know, since, just to say 3rd or 4th grade at least. Perimeter is adding all the sides up. This time, it did not draw them on the picture. I'm a visual person. Y'all know this, so I have to see it. So it tells me my perimeter is 87, so I'm going to come down here and write that, bless you. My perimeter is 87. 3 sides are x plus 1, so I'm going to label my one side as x plus 1, my other side as 2x plus 1 minus 1, my third side is 4x plus 3. Now, I looked over how some of you did it, and most of you did not need to write this whole thing out. And I can see that. So what I would have done is I would have just said, okay, let's combine my x's, because I'm combining all this together, correct? So I have 1x, 4x, 2x, which is 7 x's. And then I have 1 plus 3, which is 4, minus 1, gives me a positive 3. And those 3 sides added together equals 87. So there is my equation. So now, I'm going to solve. Subtract 3 from both sides. Divide both sides by 7. We get x equals 12. Let's go back and look at the question. Did I answer this question? I have a head nod to explain. Why not? Right. It did not ask me what my x equaled. It asked me what is each of those sides going to equal. So I'm going to plug each of them in. So this is going to be 12 plus 1. So one side is 13. This one's going to be 2 times 12 minus 1. And if you like to rewrite it out, that's fine. So that's 2 times 12 is 24, minus 1 is 23. And then our last side, we're going to do 4 times 12 plus 3. 4 times 12 is 48, 49, 50, 51. What should these three numbers add up to? So 50, 60, 70, 83, 86, 87 is correct. Here are my three sides to that triangle. When I grade this, I will be looking for the equation, the x, and your three sides. All right, questions on that one? Because you'll see problems like this pop up quite a bit. Okay. A lot of these are based off of what the STAR test likes to ask these questions. You will see a lot to do with perimeter and area because the STAR test likes to do a lot of solving equations with perimeter and area. So that's how we teach it, or make sure it's integrated really well. All right, the length of a triangle. So length is 3 more than, that's an addition, half of the width. So here's my length, and it is 3 more than half my width. Is everybody okay with that? Here is my width. We have that perimeter equals 60. So I'm going to go ahead and label, and it's asking for me to find my length. In order to do that, I have to find my width, though, correct? So I'm going to go ahead and label all four sides. The reason I label all four sides is because for some reason, if we do not see all four sides labeled, we are really bad at remembering to add all four sides. I know that sounds silly. All right, so I'm going to start by combining my W's. I have 1, 2, and then these two together make 3W. 3 plus 3 is 6. And together those four sides should equal 60. There's my equation. Any questions on an equation? So let's solve. Subtract 6 from both sides. Divide both sides by 3. And we get 18. All right, our question asked for the length. Well, now that I have the width, does anybody have an idea on how I can find my length? There's actually two ways to do it. What do you have for me? Say that again? So plug this 18 into this equation. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, so I could do 3 plus half of 18. Does anybody else have another way of doing this? Yes, sir. Or are you just stretching? I never can tell. Okay. No, I hear what you're saying, but that wouldn't help me find my length from this. What do you have for me? Can't say your name, but no one else can think of it? Well, now that I know both of these are 18, can't I do 60 minus 18, and then just divide that number by 2. Okay, some of you see it that way. I'm going to do it by plugging it in, so I'm going to do 3 plus 1/2 W. I'm going to plug in that W in, which is the easier, I think the easier way to do it. 3 plus 9, and this is going to equal my length. 12 equals my length. Why do I write my L as a cursive L? It looks like a 1 if it's not cursive. Alright, see if you and your partner can do number 7 together. Write an equation and solving. Alright, I can't tell if we're stuck or still working or finished. So let's go ahead and look at it. Jacob sold 8 more calendars to raise money for athletics than Colton. So I have Jacob, and he sold 8 more than Colton. Okay? Together, they sold 42 calendars. So when I take Colton plus Jacob, it's going to equal 42, correct? Well, can't I replace this Jacob with the 8 plus C? So I'm going to replace it with 8 plus C equals 42. And I'm going to combine those pieces. So I have 2 C's, so 2C plus 8 equals 42. The goal is to figure out Jacob's number here. So now I'm going to go ahead and solve to find out Colton's, because once I find out Colton's, I can find out Jacob's. 6, 30, 34. Divide by 2, 17. So we know Colton's is 17. And I can use either of these equations, the C plus J equals 42, or I could use the 8 plus C. I'm going to use the 8 plus C, because I know that Jacob equals 8 plus C. And I now know that Colton, the C, is 17. 18 plus 7, 14, 15, 25. Sorry, I did my mental math out loud. Sorry. I wasn't trying to confuse any of you. Alright, so Jacob sold 25 calendars. Questions on that one? Alright, last question. Let's do this with optional partner. Try it by yourself. If you get stuck, you may ask your partner. And if you're going, my partner never is able to help me, then choose another partner, guys. You can sit anywhere in here. Hint, if you're stuck on this, the picture is not there just for prettiness. Nope. Just let people figure it out. That is a skill that you learn in multiple classes, that the pictures give us information. Alright, let's go ahead and look at this one. Martha takes her niece and nephew to a concert. She buys t-shirts and bumper stickers for them. So far, that has given us nothing that we need to know. Martha's niece, so her niece, wants 1 shirt and 4 bumper stickers. So there would be her total. Her nephew wants 2 shirts, but no bumper stickers. If Martha's total is $67, so we know our total, what is the cost of 1 shirt? Well, looking at my picture, I see bumper stickers are $1. So, if I go back to niece's equation here, I have 1 shirt plus 4 bumper stickers, which is plus 4, right? So I'm going to take the nieces, which I'm going to drop that 1 if everybody's okay with that. S plus 4, there's my niece, plus nephew, 2S is $67. So I have 3 S's plus 4 equals 67 as my equation. Our goal is to figure out how much the shirts are, how much one shirt would be. So I'm just going to solve for my S now. Divide both sides by 3. And a shirt costs $21. Questions on any of these? Alright, for this next part, you're just going to pay attention. There were one question on homework, on the very first homework, that a lot of you missed. And then there was 2 questions that just some of you missed. And I really want to talk about one of them because it's really simple and it's a simple mistake. So I want you to just pay attention. It'll take a minute for it to actually come into clear view. This was one of them that several of you missed. And the reason I want to talk about it is we have to remember to distribute to both. So most of you got the 4F. Bring down my subtraction. But what you didn't get is I had 6 for a number here. I had 4 for a number here. You have to multiply. It has to go to both. Now, not tons of you did not miss that one, but there's enough of you that made that mistake that I wanted to make sure it was clear. Here was the most missed question on the entire thing, and I can tell you I could have guessed it would have been the most missed one because I warned you that when we have a subtraction before a parenthesis, we need to change it. And I saw almost none of you change it. So, I'm going to get a different color so y'all can see the changes. Be sure we're paying attention. Brock. Thank you. Alright, so I'm going to add a line change a sign here. And some of you, if you want to add line change sign inside this parentheses, you can. So I have 7. I can't do anything with that 7. So not yet. So I'm going to have an addition sign because I changed it to an addition. Then I'm going to give this -2 to everything. So -2 times 2c is -4c. Bring down my subtraction. -2 times 1 is -2. We don't like this, so we're going to change it. So now I have a 7. Some of you left it just as this. Is that complete? Nope. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus the -4c, or you could change it to a -4c if you wanted to. Alright, another missed one, which I would have predicted also for the same reason, was anytime it has this subtraction before and a negative, we tend to mess up. So I'm going to add a line, change a sign. And this time I'll add a line, change a sign on the inside so you can see it work the other way too. So I have 5h I can't do anything with. Bring down my addition. -3 times 4 is -12h. Bring down my addition sign because I changed it. -3 times -3 is 9. Bring down my +2. Here I can combine my 2 h's. Here I can combine my 2 numbers. We should have gotten -7 plus 11. Alright, questions on those? Pay attention to the subtraction before the parentheses. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pass out your assignment for today. You do have homework today. It is due tomorrow. You can go ahead and get started on it once I begin, and then I'm going to pass out a couple of graded work that I have for you.